It's War Dragon time, RPW here with another video to the Beginner's Guide to War Dragon series. Now before we get started, if you hear any chirping or whistling in the back, I did get some birds. I do apologize if they interrupt. Okay, so Flying Dragons 101 series is what we've began this month. Last week, if you missed it, you'll be able to find it in my Beginner's Guide series playlist. We did an overview of dragons, so we did go over the way you fly dragons, except this was without any type of specific spells. This was the simple go over of what to do with them when it comes to their class, whether they're a warrior, a sorcerer, or a hunter. So this did not include any type of spells, for example. Now this week we actually begin the warrior part to the series, and we will be going over not only flying a warrior but utilizing their spells. Now, last week, somebody commented and told me that I should have been telling you to use your shield to get the farm. Well, again, if you pay attention to my videos, I explained in the beginning what we're doing. And like I said last week, it was just to show you the basics. It would have been unfair to use a spell on one and not on another. Now, this week, we're actually going to be going over Warriors 101 with their spell sets. Now, warriors are known for their amazing health, and most are accompanied with some type of shield, but not all. So, by teaching you to use a shield that explodes, it's not really going to help you out with every type of warrior dragon. So, we're actually going to go through a handful of different types. So, let's go ahead and hop into the game. I actually have put I think 8 down here in the roster that we can go over with you in detail. Alright, so Hantu is going to be the first dragon. Down here on the right hand side, very bottom, you're going to see the word train. If you click on that, it's going to show the abilities of your dragon. This one has Stone Skin Shield, which reduces the damage because it is a shield. And then Resist Storm Towers is going to allow you to reduce the amount of damage you take from a storm tower. And then, of course, at the top, you're going to be able to see what kind of attack power it has, how much damage it puts out per second, and then its health. So, the next one is Hydron. Hydron has Resist Lightning, and then, which I believe is like 70% resist. And then he has Rejuvenate, which will restore his health over time. And then he has the Wind Wall, which doesn't block, but it does deflect the attacks that are put out by towers. Alright, and then of course there's his, attack power and so forth. Now let's go ahead and go into the next one, which is Naga. Now, Naga has a handful of spells there: Rejuvenate, Cure Potion, and Resist Storm Towers. But he does not have any type of shields. And then of course the top right is, or the top is going to show you his attack power and so forth. Now we'll go ahead and jump right into the next dragon, which will be Bander. Now, Bander has Intimidating Roar, Vampiric Touch, and Resist Ballista. Again, this dragon does not have any type of shield. And at the top, you're going to be able to see what his attack and damage power is. And there's a reason I keep showing that, and we'll go over that here later on. Alright, so the next one is Okra. Okra has very specific spell sets. Berserk, for example, is very special to him. And then, of course, he has the Heated Breath, Shield Blast, and Cannon Resist. And always pay attention to their attack power. Alright, so the next one is going to be Chrysos. Chrysos has Intimidating Roar, Rejuvenate, Resist of Trebuchets, I apologize, and the Lightning Tower Resist. So he has 2 resists, which really help him out. Alright, so let's move on into the next dragon, which is going to be, let's see. I think I already went over Okra, didn't I? Yeah. Alright, so let's go on to the next one. Alright, Shimmerik. Shimmerik has Seething Spark, Static Shield, Earthquake, and Archer Resist. Now, Archer Resist is very handy for a lower level player, but this isn't something you're really going to utilize as you get in higher levels. Now, these other 3 are very potent spells, but none of them are white spells. However, I could show you how you can really utilize those. Okay, so let's bring in the very beautiful Kieran, and we'll go over hers really quick. She has 2 resists. One is Ice Turret, and one is Fire Turret. And then she has 2 white spells also. One is the War Cry, which gives you a boost on your attack power. And then she has Mystic Winds. Now, this is not the same as Wind Wall. It looks the same, but Mystic Winds is slightly different. This will deflect towers from, or attacks from towers and super mage shots for, mages. So white spells are always a fantastic thing to have, but that is a pretty cool spell set she has. Now let's take out some bases using some of these spell sets, because I think that is really what it's all about. Yeah, granted, they all blow fire. We went over that last week. But how can you do this using spells? So let's jump into some attacks. Now, I want to try to keep this as equal to the dragons as possible. But some of the dragons I have pulled out, of course, are super tiny. So I want to go through and kind of find something here that we can utilize. Let's see, what do I have here? Oh, no. That's not going to work. Oh, yeah. I think this is at the top. Yeah, right here. What the Flak. Alright, What the Flak is 156k, and if you'll notice, Hantu does not have nearly that much power, but to kind of give you an idea, this dragon has 1 shield, and he's not very strong, but with them, that's what you would do. Now, with this dragon, you're going to want to use the Deflect with the Wind Wall spell as much as possible. And then, of course, whenever you notice your health going down, you would want to use the Rejuvenate spell, which will help you out tremendously. Let's say, for example, however, you do activate this spell and it is working on your, rejuvenating your health, and you come around the corner and there is a blue mage tower. It will stop it in its tracks. So you only get a percentage of that time frame. All right, let's take in Naga. Naga has no shield also, if you'll notice. Now with this one, you've got mostly heals. So you've got your heal against poisons, and of course you have your Rejuvenate spell. Now if you'll notice, I'm not swirling around the screen. I'm really focusing my attacks on specific targets. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So that is how I fly warrior dragons specifically. Okay, so let's jump into another attack, and I'm going to try to do, a trio of dragons. That way we can kind of get these knocked out somewhat quickly. I think we might take the same one. No, let's go ahead and take the larger one, which is a 3.67 million. Now, of course, I'm going to start with some lower level dragons that can't take it that far, but this way you can get an idea of how to utilize these spells. Alright, so one of the things you'll notice is he has the Intimidating Roar, and he also has this Vampiric Touch. The Vampiric Touch is somewhat like Rejuvenate. However, I'm not really familiar with the spell, but I believe it does better if you're near death, like if you're down in the red. Now, the Intimidating Roar is a pretty cool spell because it's going to put on damage on all the towers in that zone, on that island or whatever. And I believe it's only like the 5 square island. Don't know that it's going to reach beyond that, but it's going to allow you to be able to focus a lot more. Now, as we go around the corner here, we actually have Okra now. You're going to notice he has some blue spells. So because of those blue towers, he wasn't able to utilize them. So we actually took out a blue spell, which allows us to utilize Shimrick a little bit, but because of all the super shots, his stuff was taken out. So I'd like to go ahead and take Shimrick out on his own flight so that you guys can kind of see, how to utilize him. Now for me, he's the warrior that I'm most used to, the one I've flown like crazy. So I think he's going to be a really great warrior for me to kind of give you an example of how to fly warriors. So we're going to jump into this one. I'm going to go ahead and boost it since the base is a little bit above my power, and it is a short base with higher level towers. Alright, let's jump in here with our stuff. Now, if you'll notice, there is no blue mage tower on the front, which means we're going to be able to utilize our blue spells, but not our red spells. So the first thing I'm going to do is shield myself, and then I am going to prepare and let the stuff boost up here, my rage, take out those towers, and then I want to start utilizing my spells. Now the cool thing is, with Shimrick, you can actually take out pretty decent bases, as long as there's not mage towers blocking you all along the way. Now let's go ahead and go down here to a little bit stronger base. Oh, it's too high. So I guess we will try it with this one. Now we're going to unboost him because it is under his thing. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to finish it out, but you'll notice there is a blue, a red, a blue, and a blue mage, and a blue. So we just have to worry about those blue mages. Now, of course, the first one is going to be the blue mage. So I'm going to want to work on taking that out first. Then I can use my shield to protect myself. And also with that one, because it explodes, take some stuff out. Alright, here I'm going to reach in the back, get rid of the blue mage tower. And then utilize my spells. Go around the corner here. And same thing, I want to get rid of the stuff that poses the biggest threat to me first. Now, this guy doesn't have very good resist. So now if you'll notice, these farms are rough. So in this situation, there's not much you can do except for maybe bring in something with Death Gaze afterwards. I feel that you should always have a dragon with Death Gaze in your roster for that reason, guys. Okay, let's take him on to another base. Now, I'm going to just keep with Shimeric because he is the dragon. I understand his spells the most so that I can show you. Now, on this one, you're going to notice there are both red and blue mage towers. So that means we're going to have to watch out for these towers as we go. And you can really study and practice and learn where these are at so that you can be prepared. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this attack. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is I see a red hue in front, which means there's definitely going to be a red tower, mage tower ahead of me. So you can kind of get an idea of what's coming when it comes to the red mage towers, so you know not to click on any type of red spell. See, I noticed there's going to be a red mage up ahead. Alright, that unlocks that. So now I can utilize my spells. So this is the best way to, really fly your dragon, is kind of anticipate what you're going to be able to utilize and what you won't be able to utilize up ahead. Now, if you'll notice, I'm able to really use all these spells up to try to take down the farms that I took down. Alright. Awesome. Okay, so let's do this one in a replay really quickly, slowed down, so that we can really go over what I did and why. Alright, so if we go back in here, I'm going to show you really quickly that there's no mage towers in the beginning. Then you got your red and the blue, the red and the blue, the red and the blue, and then you've got a red and a blue. That's pretty well how a lot of people set up, large, longer bases. Alright, so let's go ahead and get him prepared to take him out. Now, do you notice that his attack power and his health power are not the same as his total attack power? So sometimes you've got to be prepared that you want to boost up his health a little bit because his health maybe falls short of what type of defenses you're going to be facing. Alright, so let's hop in here. We're going to go up against a level 180 here. Now, if you'll notice, I really have no mage towers to worry about at this point, but I do know that there's a red mage above, like I had said, because there's a red hue. You can see that shield from pretty distant locations. So I already know, for example, I'm dealing with a red, and I saw a blue mage tower at the very corner there. So I already know I'm not going to be able to utilize any of these spells until I take out those mages. Now I'm able to put on my shield, which will not only protect me, but it's going to explode and help me in putting out damage around me. Alright, again, we've got a red and a blue mage, and I can see that I have a red and blue mage in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and reach out and try to take those out next so that I can utilize my spells once again. Okay, now we're going to get ready to go around, and while we're here, we're not going to use our spells. We're going to let our rage build up. So we're going to come around the corner, and we're going to take out the red mage tower. This is where we're going to spam our stuff because these towers are big towers. So I'm holding down. Remember I said if you just, slide around, you're not going to make much damage. So you're really wanting to bear down. Now, we've tried everything from the Seething Spark to the shields, and we did not quite get it all, but it's not that big a deal. Now we're going to come around the corner, again, take out the mage tower we knew was going to be at the end. And then we are going to, of course, shield up if we ever need to be protected. And then we can, of course, even use the Seething Spark. Once you click that, it's going to open up a tower thing. You click it, and it'll actually try to take some of the stuff out behind you. So, guys, when it comes to warriors, let's talk about this real quickly. If you're having issues flying warriors, then you really need to just practice, because warrior dragons are your very simple dragons within your rosters. Your hunters are going to be the most, the ones you're going to want to get the most practice with, because they take a lot of knowledge and they take a lot of practice, and not just using them, but understanding each and every spell. So even when you get a new hunter, it's basically like starting all over. Now, with a warrior dragon, unlike the hunter dragon, for example, there's not a lot of thinking. You just send out that spray and do what you can. However, their spells do take some thinking. Depending on what spell they have, if it's just, one shield with nothing else, then there's not a whole lot of thinking, except for, is there a blue mage tower up ahead? Because most of the time your shields are going to be a blue spell. Now remember, not all warriors will have these. I know a lot of you probably thought that, but they don't. Some of them do, some of them don't. Now, a great warrior dragon will have something that's going to help you, increase the amount of attack power you're putting out. Something that's going to somehow deflect or block the attacks coming in. And then something that's either going to give you a boost on your health, like Rejuvenate, or something that's going to help, take something out even better. That's why Shimrick is such a great dragon. But however, the perfect warrior dragon would have the shield, something to rejuvenate your health, and something to help boost up the amount of damage you're taking, or that you're putting out. So with that being said, just get in there, get your warrior dragons out, and take them out for some spins, and use some of the really cool chest bases and XP bases they have out there for you to practice with. Now remember, if you do use any type of chest base or farm base or whatever, that if you go out there, do your attacks, once you've finished, take some type of dragon in that you don't really care about, or any dragon really, and die. And this way that farm does not, go inactive, because we do take medals from them. So make sure that you lose at least once a day against the bases you are using. Alright guys, if you have any specific questions when it comes to warriors, be sure to put that in the comments section below. And then also to remind you, tomorrow at noon, Central Standard Time, our giveaway will be shutting down. So if you've signed up for the giveaway, awesome. You'll hear if you've won here shortly. But if you have not yet, make sure you go over to the Talk Dragon Tuesday video from yesterday and get your entry put in. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Before you leave, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell for notifications. Happy hunting! I'm going back to bed though. Night.